Alrighty, you're on.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you guys all joined tonight. This is kind of an exciting time because this is a whole new training that people now from wherever can join in. I think we are covering 22 states now, our team.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting to think that here we are, we're kind of going global. So anyway, tonight what I wanted to talk about was no matter what attitude. And I think that in this business, that's exactly what this is going to take, for every one of us to have a, no matter what attitude. I think Helen probably says something along the lines of, draw your line in the sand, but another way to look at it is having a no matter what attitude. And I'm going to be looking over here at my notes because I've got many pages, but I just want to make sure that I cover everything that I wanted to. And I guess when we're looking at our own selves, how do we, if we're really honest with ourselves, what do we do? Do we have a retreat? If something like comes up, do we retreat? Or is our automatic thing to go and just push through and say, I'm going to do this no matter what? And for myself, I really, really want to master that no matter what attitude and keep my attitude in check as well as I'm pushing through my no matter what attitude. But what it really means is that, like, whatever we're going through and whatever is going on around us, whether it's somebody else's bad attitude or whether it's somebody that is annoying us or whatever, that we can accept our own responsibility in whatever situation it is, and it's up to us to control our own attitude and move forward and not get stuck in the situation or get stuck in making excuses for why we aren't going forward. Going along our journey, we have people, we have circumstances, we have situations that are going to all distract us. I mean, I'm totally guilty of it myself. Had situations with difficult people. I've had moving. I've had, different obstacles that I've had to push through in doing my business. And I think that if we're going through this, we need to expect those things. Those things are going to happen because it's all part of our lives. It's part of what each and every one of us have every day. And we have to recognize them for what they are. And again, we have to push through and remember that there is never any kind of great accomplishment that was ever accomplished without having these obstacles that have these distractions that come in and just try to, push us off course or challenge us in different ways. For me personally, I always have to be constantly talking to myself to discipline myself in order to, no, I can't do this right now. I got to do this. I have to take care of this. And so I push through oftentimes, and it's a daily struggle to have that no matter what. This is what I need to do today. This is what I have to accomplish today. And in every single day, we have so many decisions that we have to make, and deciding which way am I going to go? Am I going to discipline myself or am I not? Am I going to do this or am I not? And, each of those little things that we do each day, we think, oh, this really isn't going to matter if I don't do this. But if you do it over the course of time, then it all adds up and it does matter that you haven't done that. And in order for all of us to move forward, during those times, sometimes the rubber meets the road, and we have to make that decision that I'm not going to retreat on this. I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to push through this no matter what. And the thing of it is that what the experts talk so much about is people quit when the times get tough, and when you don't want to push through that and make that tough decision of what you're going to do, and they quit. And they don't quit because it's that they can't do it. They quit because they're focused too much on their distractions. They're focused too much or overwhelmed with the distractions of their life versus the focus of where they want to go. And like, as I really sat here and I really pondered about, us as a team and maybe some distractions that we've had, and I got so proud of every one of you guys, because you know what, you guys, you think about this, each one of us, I'm sure, and maybe some of you on here, are new, so you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now, and I'm sorry for that, but each one of us had probably a reason or many reasons this past fall that we could have been distracted, and we could have had good reason maybe to quit, with the whole back office issues that we were having. But I'm so proud of you guys, because each and every one of you had the no matter what attitude. And yeah, it was tough. And yeah, we all faced our own challenges of customer issues, shipping issues, website issues, whatever. But we all forged through, we locked arms together, and we pushed through. And that is such an awesome testament to the awesomeness of this team that it just, I can't even tell you how proud that makes me. I also think about the no matter what attitude. I think about the story that Sarah Robbins tells about the gal who was on her team or something, who was so upset that she only sponsored one person, and her business wasn't taking off and it wasn't going fast enough. And so she decided that she was going to quit, and she did. And she quit, and that one person that she sponsored, that one person ended up being a $1 million earner in their company. And they calculated it, and she could have brought in over $10 million at the time that she told the story. And had she have had this no matter what attitude, she wouldn't have been in that situation to have missed out on $10 million. And so I just feel that in this business, that is so important that we, each one of us, have our no matter what attitude. And, I think I'm not going to sit here and say that challenges don't arise, and that, we don't have trials and tribulations, and that we have to dig deep, sometimes obviously more than others. But I mean, there's things that we can do. There's things that we can push through, and maybe take a situation that we're facing, take a challenge that we're facing, and try to sit down and maybe look at it from different perspectives, and try to really step out of ourselves and see it maybe with different eyes. I know just recently I was faced with a challenge, and I was kind of beside myself. I didn't know how I was going to go forward with making this decision that I had to make, because I had to have a conversation that I really didn't want to have. And so I sat down and I wrote it all out, and I put out, what I thought was a good solution, and what I wanted to formulate, what I wanted to say. So I took a step back, and I really made a game plan. And I think when we're going through different trials and tribulations, and you feel maybe stuck in a rut, maybe a good thing would be is to maybe jot down 1 through 10 and think of maybe different alternatives that you can have for whatever situation it is that you're facing, and different ways that maybe could be or ways for you to get through it. And what they say is usually it ends up to be number 10. The 10th thing on your list that you maybe could figure out the solution for generally is your answer. But it helps you to think outside the box, and it helps you to just grab a hold of whatever situation it is that's challenging you and push through it, and step back and move forward, and empowering yourself to make an awesome decision, whatever it is, because the challenges aren't going to stop. And the more people that we get, the more that the challenges are going to arise. But you know what? The more that we can do something like this, the better that we are going to be able to face them and have that line drawn in the sand, and that no matter what attitude. And I think it helps us to be proactive versus reactive. I think about this, and I think about how if we're writing this down, then we're also like really driving our focus to be where we want it to be. And so I think about it, and I think of a driver and a passenger. And so you've got this driver and this passenger in this car, and you've got this driver that, what does the driver have to do? The driver has to be focused. He has to be focused on where he's going. He has to be focused on the destination of where they want to end up. What else does he have to do? He has to make sure that everybody's going to get there safely, and that, all eyes are on the road, watching for obstacles and watching for things that are coming. And what is the passenger doing? The passenger's over there probably texting and on the phone and, doing all kinds of things that are, looking around and being distracted. And so I think that if we can focus ourselves and not be distracted by all the different obstacles that we have and that we're faced with, this is what's going to help drive our business as well, is just really keeping our eyes on the road and knowing where we want to go. The other thing that I was thinking of too was, I'm sure all you guys, does everybody remember the story of the tortoise and the hare? Running the race. What was it? Aesop's fable, I think. So who won the race? The tortoise or the hare? The tortoise won the race. And why was it that the tortoise won the race? Was it because he was the fastest? No, absolutely not. The hare was the one that had the attitude of, the big cocky, big head kind of guy, and he thought he had the race in the bag. But what did the tortoise do? The tortoise had his eye on the prize. The tortoise was there, just head down, focused, ready to go, and he probably knew he couldn't win the race. And I think all of us have those doubts too at times, can I do this? Will I do this? But what did he do? He just said, I'm going to do this. And he kind of argued with the hare and said, I will do this. Are you kidding me? And we're the same. If we have that determination and that, we're just going to do this thing, and again, have that attitude that no matter what, I'm going to win this race and do it. We can do it. We can all do it together. And I was thinking about this, thinking about all these different instances. And we could sit here all night and talk about him, but another one was Steve Jobs. What about Steve Jobs? I mean, where would we be today if we didn't have Steve Jobs and his no matter what attitude? I mean, this is a guy who didn't finish college. Not that you have to finish college, but he didn't finish college. He was so cocky. He got fired from a job. He just, he had a drive and a determination, though. He had fortitude, and he knew that he had something special. And I think each and every one of us here know that we have something special, and we have something special deep within us, and we have something special with the products that we have and this business opportunity that we have. And I mean, you think about it and you think, where would we be today if we didn't have Steve Jobs? If he didn't have that no matter what attitude, where would we be today? We wouldn't have the iPad. We wouldn't have the iPod. We wouldn't have the iPhone. And so same thing with us is, how many lives will we not be affecting if we don't have that no matter what attitude? And another one, I think this woman truly inspires me, is J.K. Rowling. One of her quotes is, "By every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I know." Can you even believe she would say such a thing? This is a woman who, she had lost her mother. She was totally depressed. She was unemployed. She was working as a waitress. She was a single mom. And she got to a point in her life where she felt, I have nothing to fear. I have probably been through it all. And she thought, what is the one thing that I want to do? I want to write. And so she did. So she decided that she was going to write, and she wrote her first book, and was rejected by 12 publishers. The last publisher she took it to, he said, well, I don't know, it's okay, but I'll have my 8-year-old daughter read it. So his 8-year-old daughter read it. She loved it. Do you know, it's just as amazing to me, absolutely amazing to me. She has done $400 million in book sales. And the first opening weekend of her last movie, I don't know what it was, but she grossed in one weekend $460 million. So again, where would we be if J.K. Rowling had decided to give up and not push through the challenges? What if she didn't have no matter what attitude? Where would we all be? I mean, maybe she didn't affect a lot of your lives, but our children's lives sure enjoyed her books, and now she's noted as one of the best authors in the world. I mean, it's just crazy. And those kind of things just get me so excited, because I don't need to say it, but we all know we have an awesome opportunity in front of us. And one of her quotes that I thought was awesome, J.K. Rowling, was, "It's impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well never have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." Amazing, amazing. And I guess I feel really, really, really passionate about our attitudes. I feel really passionate about what our attitude is telling people that are around us. Are we telling people that we have a no matter what attitude, or are we kind of more lackadaisical and not showing them, what really we have inside of all of us? Because I know every one of us has it inside of us. I know that. And I challenge you to really think about your own attitude, and challenge yourself to really look in the mirror and say, do I have that? do I have that? And am I showing every person that I meet that I have this attitude deep within me? This no matter what attitude, does it mean I will pursue my dreams no matter what rejection looks like, no matter what it looks like for me when people reject me, no matter what it looks like for me if my family rejects me, or if maybe I don't have my family members' support? Do I have a no matter what attitude, even though maybe I have a fear of failure? Or, do I have this no matter attitude, no matter what attitude, even if it takes time away from me and my family to do this? Do I have a no matter what attitude, even if I have to discipline myself? Do I have a no matter what attitude, even if maybe I'm uncomfortable going into a situation that I know maybe isn't going to be the best, because I'm nervous? Those are the kind of things that I ask you to ask yourself and really look deep within yourself to say, where do I need to grow? Where do I need to change on my attitude? What can I do to make myself better and help to change that in me so that I can really be a woman out there with such a purpose and with such a no matter what attitude. I mean, you guys aren't going to forget this no matter what, because I've said it about 44 times. But anyway, I know this is something that some of you are going to really maybe have a harder time with, but I ask you as like a homework challenge, and I don't normally give homework, and you can do it if you want, but I would really encourage every one of you guys to look at somebody, whether they're in plexus or whether they're not in plexus, and go to them and ask them, what is the tip, or what was it that has made you so successful? If you could tell me one thing, what would it be? And I would encourage you to do that, for your benefit and to help take you out of your box. But I would also encourage you to tell them why you're asking that and congratulate them on their success. And then I ask you to bring it back to us and post it in Diamonds and say, you don't have to say who it was, and if you want, you can, and you don't want to, you don't have to, but share it with us so that we all can benefit from what you found out, because I think this is really critical. This is really important for us too, is to help one another and to really build a bond so that we all can join this journey together, and like I said earlier, is lock arms and have this no matter what attitude together as our team. And so that was just what was on my heart, and I just wanted to share it. And anybody have any questions, or anybody want to say something that maybe an experience that they've had or something? Don't be shy.
You're all unmuted, so you can all talk.
Maureen, when you started talking,
Yeah.
The thing that I thought of immediately with regards to challenges and our attitude is this saying that I have in my kitchen, and I'm going to hold it up. And for me, my faith is really important. So I think about this a lot. Can you read that, or is that backwards?
Yeah.
Nope, that's right.
Can you say it? I can't see you.
Faith makes things possible, not easy.
I think that is something that I rely on a lot. And I was writing notes down as you were talking about, just obstacles and things like that. I rely on faith and I rely on good friends. So, and I have both, in this group, and with, my church and other friends. So I think that sometimes if you start to stray away and you get negative, you need to go back to that core, and kind of reread your why and think about, the reasons that you're doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. Because the storms are going to come. We all have them.
Yep.
Anybody else want to share? Come on, you guys. I know you have something to say. We're women.
This is Natasha. I'll just say what you were talking about, the tortoise and the hare, that is a powerful image for me because, I might not be making the big bucks yet, but right now, the fact that I'm paying for these amazing products is pretty sweet. So that's a win. And just to know that it takes time, and if you have to put in 5 to 10 hardcore, years of hard work, and it takes that long to get to the top of the mountain, that's pretty sweet compared to a traditional path in your career. So I just keep the motto, patience and persistence. So that's all.
I agree with you, Natasha. And the other thing too that I forgot to mention about that tortoise and the hare is that what was the hare doing to the tortoise? The hare was taunting the tortoise the whole time, well, except when he was sleeping. But it's like you think about that too, and in our business too, when maybe we have people in our life that aren't real supportive, and we feel like they aren't there for us. So I thought that was another great point, in that story too.
Maureen, the other point that you made about being proactive and not reactive doesn't always come naturally to everyone, but I think we can practice it in our lives and in our Plexus business.
Yeah, that's one I think that, when we did the John Maxwell 21 irrefutable laws, and that's what he talked about in there too, was that, good leaders can see things that are coming. And so I think it's good for us, and, just like I was talking about driving and the obstacles and making sure that, everybody is safe and watching for those obstacles is that keeping those things right in front of us too, like being able to see the things that are coming ahead and being able to watch for them and plan for them. Not that we can always do that, because obviously we know that we can't, but I think it's probably a lot of it too is just a mental preparation. And so if that attitude that we have is the no matter what attitude, when those obstacles, when those challenges come, if that is really set in stone and is intact, as much as we can at that time, it does make them a lot easier, and it's easier to navigate, easier to see, easier to overcome. Anybody else have anything, or anyone want to share? No? Okay. Then I guess we'll close it out. So it was our first one tonight, and I really, really, really appreciate all you guys joining in, and it's just one of many. So yeah, I will let you get back to your night and enjoy your evening, and Thank you again so much. Really appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you, Maureen.
Thanks, Maureen.
Yes, thank
Bye,
you
guys.
very much, Maureen.
Thanks, Maureen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.